What's up, y'all? What's up? No, I'm hopping on late here. What's up, Josh? Let's make you a mod again. I don't know how I undid that. Hold up, let me see. Okay, I think you're a mod again. It's been a while, you guys. What you guys been up to? Man, I'm still trying to get over a cough here. But yeah, I know I'm hopping on late. Like normal. But yeah. Girl prepared me really good mate though. Real remedies. This is how you're really supposed to drink it with all the remedies. ¿Verdad? Así se toma, ¿verdad? Con los remedios que tienen sentido. Yeah. This is pretty gangster, man. I gotta tell you what's up. Okay. Yeah, man. Let me know. I'll wait till more people hop on before I dive. End of the conversation. Dang, I just got 23 people. 7. Okay. Yeah, apologies, you guys. I feel mostly good, except for my cough. But yeah, we're gonna get there. But anyways, you guys, what's the topic today? I already forgot what the topic is. It's oh yeah, is moving abroad starting over. And anybody with the YouTube channel, if you guys want to hop on and join me, you can. Just let me know and I'll share the link. But yeah, moving abroad is completely a fresh start or starting over. You know what I mean? And it should always be for the better. You know, unless you're like literally like a fugitive or something. uh, there should always be benefits, and the it should be a fresh start, man. I mean, I've been abroad for 14 months now, and you know, I almost completely forgot about my whole life back in the States for the better. Yeah, greener pastures. Yeah, yeah, for the better. And it's a hell of a thing. Miguel Alejandro Loso, bro, respeta. What's up, brother? Mucho respeto para ti también, amigo. Dale. Josh, I learned more about my future life in Paraguay in the last 3 weeks than I did in the last 3 years. Yeah, man, I say that all the time. I say that all the time. That I live more life here than I ever would have. I would literally say every month living that I've lived here, it almost equals a year of happiness in the States, of whatever moment you can derive of happiness in the States, right? And I've had it pretty up and down, Um, but hell, even right now, I got a girl, doing helping me out with stuff. Came over, made me proper mate. No quieres tomar? But yeah, man. Yeah, you're right. Uh, it's probably one of the only things you can do in life to really feel like you're gonna start over and have a fresh start. You know what I mean? When's the wedding? It ain't like that, bro. It ain't like that. But yeah. um, yeah, man. Because if you move within the states to another state, it's just a version of the same old shit. You know, it really is. You know, and it's not till you move abroad where you're in a whole nother culture, whole nother language, whole nother vibe, whole nother people, that you can really find who you are. It sounds so corny. It does sound so corny, but it's so true. And then even if you think historically, right? As some of the most enlightened people in history, who are some of the most enlightened people in history? People who have traveled, people who know multiple cultures, multiple languages. Not in all cases, but most of the time, yes. Most of the time, people who are impactful and historically have a great understanding for the world and for a man's purpose or any person's purpose in this world. You know, uh, at least send me an invite. Yeah, if there's a wedding, my bad, guys. Yeah, Chestnutters touchdown in Asuncion for a few days last week. I didn't know it was going to be that nice. Nice, man, nice, good stuff. Have you hit me up one on one, Chestnutters? If you have, let me know. Let me know who you are. Ugh, hopefully my cough will go away. But yeah. I mean, I used to come here for just like a month at a time, and that used to do wonders for me. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough until I actually moved. You know, that's when. Okay, just a watcher. Okay, Robert, what's up, Robert? How's Wisconsin? Yeah. Yeah, man. Moving abroad can enlighten you, really, truly. And I know it's really lame to say because everybody says the same thing, but what's true is true, And at the very least, you find more moments of happiness, Uh, so hell, I mean, you can't really argue with that, can you? And even this place. Um, sorry, guys. Mm. Even this place. Uh, My dog has more room than he's ever had in his life, and my dog is happy, and it makes me happy to see my dog happy. You know, yeah, Robert, can you live on 775 USD a month? Yes, yes, as long as you don't have any debt that you're paying off in the States. That's a little bit of my issue. If I'm gonna be completely honest here. uh, yeah, you can absolutely make that work. Not downtown though. You're not gonna make that work downtown. You can make that work where I'm at though. It'd be tough though. Like Josh said. Like Josh said, it'll be tough. Um, but that amount of money is two people's salaries here. So that's like a normal household of two people about what they're bringing in, like 775. Robert, yeah, Wisconsin is crazy hot with tornadoes and baseball size hail. Damn. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that there was flooding going on in Wisconsin. So pretty crazy stuff. Oh man, guys, I want my cough to go away. I'm sorry about that. What's my topic tonight? Uh, is moving abroad a fresh start? Yeah, is moving abroad a fresh start? And it is. It's probably one of the only things you could do to actually have a real thorough fresh start in life. I mean, I guess you could do it moving city to city, state to state, but it's not the same. You know, Robert, I got money saved up, but that's 40% VA disability payment. Okay, if you can double that, you'll be excellent, Robert. If you could double that amount, then you'll be doing just fine here. Um, yeah. So yeah, and hey guys, but it's not a walk in the park either, though. Yeah, moving abroad is not a walk in the park either. You have a lot of things to think about every single day, and you lose a lot of the the first world services too, like the whole like well, there's like delivery and all that here, but I try not to do too much of that because I don't want to feel like I'm in the States. So even when I need stuff, like I'll go walk to the pharmacy before it shuts down and all that. Yeah, but yeah, moving abroad is a fresh start, cutting old ties, making new contacts, new laws, new customs, new culture. Yeah, yeah, and sometimes that's what you need to stay sharp to for some people, right? I think especially for older folks, right, who get such a groove in life for decades and decades, they forget what change is. Us younger guys, we're a little bit better, I think, at handling change as long as we don't have like families and kids that are taking along. Um, it's going to be easier. You know, yeah, chestnutters, exactly what I just said. The only two things that will change your life forever are having a kid and moving abroad. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and then combining. Sorry, guys. Combining those two, like if you move abroad, then meet a woman, then have a kid. You know, that's like, I mean, that's a lot of guys' dream. You know, eventually that'll be me, and I could have made that happen already, but I'm taking my time, man. I'm taking my time. There ain't no rush to this shit. Really, truly. A lot of guys rush that stuff, though. A lot of guys rush that stuff because they can't handle it, dude. They can't handle the beauty of some women, right? So they'll just like immediately, and it's their decision. It scares the shit out of me though, because I'm just so worried about uh, pursuing with the wrong one, and so that's why I'm just taking my time. Even my aunt told me the other day, she's like, like, because I told her, ideally I would like to be married by now or in a couple years, but she said, don't get married just to get married, make sure it's you're like super in love and everything is like on the right page and all that. But it's not just love, man. It's like it's all your does everything align, Like are you both the proper ages and stuff like, like healthy fertility ages and all that stuff too, So, you know, there's a lot of things taken into consideration. You have to really analyze the girl's family as well and her family life. Um, some girls can toxically be too much about their families here, to be completely honest. So, all right, I think we're back. Okay. Ah, man. But yeah, you guys, I don't know, but life is life, man. No matter where you're at, but life is way better than Latin America. So, that's for sure. Um, Robert, I was planning on staying in whichever country I find the right girl in. Yeah and no. I mean, do what you want, but for me, everything has to align with the country first. Everything. Then women will come. Women will come, especially if you're here for a long time. Women will definitely come. You know. And you know what I've noticed too? You know what I've noticed as well is yeah, okay, I'll just say it, but some women they'll say that they don't want kids because that's what they think that you want to hear, but in reality, they do. You know what I mean? Um, without being TMI, even though I'm going to be TMI right now, most girls are going to want you to take off the hat. Most girls are definitely going to want you to take off the hat. I think that's happened to me like 99% of the time. And I never do. I never do. Right? Because I don't believe none of that bullshit about birth control, none of that. I just don't trust. Until I'm ready, I won't take off the hat. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I was way too TMI. But it's true, man. It's true. And they're like, I swear to God, they'll tell you that like, no, I'm not looking to have a kid, dude. That's a lie. And if you as a guy were to like say, look, I really want to have a kid, guarantee you they're gonna want you to. It's because they're trying to like see what you want to hear. Bro, how do you not know what that means? Here, 1 second, you guys. I'm gonna be back in 1 second. Okay, we are back. We are back. I'm telling you, Potter. Dude, I mean, yeah, that's funny because like, what would you tell that I'm behaving? I'm behaving as best as I can. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's funny though. And I talked to guys who went to other countries, and they say the same thing. They say the same thing. So, uh, you know, and guys who come here too, because I just asked my homie too the other day. I won't even. Obviously I'm not gonna say who it is, but I was like, hey, what percentage of women wanted you to take off the hat? You know what I mean? And he was like, all of them. I was like, bro, me too, bro. I'm like, you know, and like a lot of times they'll just say like, oh, you know, but it feels better. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So, damn, I'm I'm being a little too truthful here, man. I'm going straight to hell anyways. I'm just playing. Hopefully not, Jesus. Hopefully not. But I thought Catholics weren't allowed. Bro, Catholics, man, we sin, dude. We sin. But I try to be decent though. I try to be good. Okay, Josh. I'm getting spit before I move. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, not the worst idea. Not the worst idea ever. Yeah, definitely not the worst idea. But yeah. But yeah, man, and what's crazy too about the states. I just saw a couple of videos pop up. But dude, people in the states, dude, I don't know if it's liberal mentality or what it is, but like Atlanta, right? Like they had a huge outburst since the beginning of the year of fucking HIV, dude. Like that's like horrendous amounts of numbers in Atlanta. And I've never been to Atlanta, but I'm just like, damn, dude. You know, they're saying that that's on third world levels, and I'm like, damn, dude, I don't even think that like Latin America's that bad. And so like the fuckery culture catches up to you, man. The not being safe, the hookup culture, the degenerate stuff in the states. I guess that catches up to a lot of people, and not only that, actually, you know what they're saying too is because so many guys or so many girls date the same guys in the states. You know, I mean that's starting to happen here too. Um, so they all date the same guys, right? These finance bros or whatever in Atlanta, and a lot of them are unhealthy because of it. Instead of instead of getting with a decent man who would want to put a ring on your finger, maybe he's not a straight Chad, fucking super athlete, but he loves you and will love you. Nope, they just want to go straight to the degeneracy. So, man, I mean, there's some numbers that are out of control, man. Like Georgia right now, the state of Georgia is like out of control when it comes to that. So, yeah, it's wild, dude. Um, yeah, look that up, man. There's a lot of videos popping up about Atlanta, dude, and like the surrounding areas in Georgia and like the South is like pretty effed, but like Georgia is like really effed, you know? Um, yeah. Josh, okay, let's switch this up. I don't want to talk about that anymore. uh, yeah, bro, looks like I'll be in CDE for 2 weeks in December. Then I'll be moving there for 6 months when I actually go. God is blessed with good contacts. Nice, man. Good. Degeneracy occurs from God. Yeah. Robert, maybe the third world moved to Atlanta. Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's interesting, though. Interesting. Because the States has like some of the best, like if you have access to healthcare, it's some of the best institutions, best research in the entire world. But, people's lifestyles, contribute to that. Yeah, Houston was the other one, actually. Yeah. Anyways, we don't gotta keep talking about that. Ooh, man, you guys, I really want to get over this cough I have. Mm. It's not good because I can't do videos either. Even my faceless videos, I can't even do those because I have to pause all the time. But yeah. Anyways, on a completely different note, it's my niece's birthday today, and she's 18 years old, and she's a good kid, man. She's a good young woman, and man, on a serious note, like I always wanted to see my niece and my nephew well. Like I've talked about that in videos. And one of my biggest goals was, to make sure that they're well all the way through 18. And then, their adult years, obviously I'll still be here for them, but they're adults now. And so I'm proud of them, man. I'm proud of my niece and nephew. They're good kids, dude. And like, there's so many bad kids, and I wasn't the best kid either in the States. And both of them are just like really good, like family oriented kids, young adults. And so Saturday, we're gonna be taking my niece out for her birthday, and be a good time. Be a good time. Yeah, yeah. Find one good woman. Yeah, it's hard to find a good woman. Yeah, it is hard to find a good woman. It is, but uh, and like I said, sometimes you find one, but your life has to align with the same goals. Especially when it comes to having kids. That's the hard part. Um, you know, but anyways, you guys get it. But yeah, going back to the whole point of this, I guess I won't stay on too much longer. I think, um, unless folks want me to. If you guys, who's ever in the chat, if you guys want me to talk about something, let me know. Probably stay on another 10 minutes or so. Uh, comment in. Let me know where you're from. Oh, what's up, Aaron? Hey, Aaron, do you want to hop on? Let me know, Aaron, if you want to hop on. I have a link. I made this a dual thing if you wanted to. um, but yeah, Aaron, we're just talking about going back to the. Okay, okay. Here, let me share the link with Aaron real quick. We'll make this more interesting for you guys. He's famous, dude. He's hopping on all these channels, bro. Aaron is like Aaron is like the YouTube nomad. He's like he just pops up on everybody's channel. It's awesome. No, but yeah, man. Yeah, Aaron, let me know when you want to hop on, or just hop on. But yeah, going back to the beginning, you know, my conclusion was, yeah, moving abroad, and like Chestnutter said earlier, like two biggest things in life are having a child and moving abroad, right? I guess getting married too. I guess getting married too. Um, at least things that are your decision, or that hopefully should be your decision, you know. Um, besides the stuff that you can't control in life, but yeah, it's enlightening, man, and yeah, you can be yourself again. You can have a fresh start, and it's really cool, man. I mean, if you guys even remember, uh, even my first videos, I wasn't the best speaker. I was still camera shy. Didn't know really what I wanted to do with the channel. I guess I still don't. uh, and yeah, um, okay, Aaron's gonna update his YouTube app quick. Then he's gonna hop on. But yeah, and I think it could be arguably one of the best things you could do to save your life too, like internally, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, whatever word you want to put, and give yourself a chance for happiness. I hate to really quote this guy, but Mark Zuckerberg did have one of the best quotes ever when he said, that the biggest risk is to take no risk at all. You know, because even guys with way more money than I have, uh, you can find yourself in situations, But I'd rather take a chance at being happy and experiencing new culture and being around uh, people who are receive you better in society, be around women who receive you better as a whole, you know, and so yeah, there's so many benefits, man, and you really feel recharged, you feel re-energized, you feel renewed, and some of you guys are way more religious than me. Reborn, I guess, in some way or other. Yeah, what's up, Eileen? Um, Hey Ryan, how's everything? Relocating to Asuncion soon at the end of the summer. I want to thank you so much for your content. Helped a lot. That there's a huge transformation you have to go through internally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. And thanks for being a great follower. If you guys don't know, man, Alina, and I still might talk to you about that for the whole website stuff. But yeah, he's doing his thing for websites. So if you guys need website help, me personally, I'm in limbo with all that stuff right now, but he might be your guy to go to. But yeah, man, I like Eileen's mindset. I like all your guys' mindset, to be honest. About moving abroad, about no matter what age you are, and giving yourself a chance to to be happy and thrive. Not everything is perfect. You may not even be like uh, you may not have everything figured out every month here, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And like, I guess I retell this part of my story all the time, but after my breakup too, um, a good year and a half to 2 years before I came here, a good 2 years, I guess. No, year and a half. There are super lonely moments, right? And now, how do I? God damn it! I don't know how to say this without being like sounding like an asshole, but like now I have like girls like wanting to come over to help me prep tea, to cook, to watch a movie with me, to do anything under the sun, like like to help me out with stuff, Uh, but that's more than just a woman thing. I think this just like Paraguayans in general. People just want to be helpful here to other people, which is like a crazy thought. All right, let's get Aaron in here. What's up, bro?
Yo, it's Brian.
Yeah, yeah.
How's it going?
The party started,
Wait,
bro. Like
how long have you been on the live for?
30 minutes.
Oh, okay. So it's a pretty good timing.
Yeah.
Hold on, give me a second.
All right.
Hold on, I had to stop at a McDonald's. I gotta use the restroom, and I just gotta order something.
Oh, you're good.
So
You're good.
yeah.
Uh, 1 second.
So the topic was for moving abroad.
Oh, yeah. Um, moving abroad and what exactly was my title? Yeah, está caliente.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, and is it can it refresh you? Or not? No. What was my title? Josh, what's my title of this video? It's will you be is moving abroad a fresh start?
Would you be able to start over?
Yeah, and it's a pretty easy yes, but and I'm just explaining all the reasons why, internally, but for us guys, that internal motive is huge, because especially
Yeah.
you start getting into your 30s, and like I always say, that's where our midlife life crisis starts happening because
Yeah.
at your 30s, if you have no purpose, you really start freaking out, or you should be, you know. I mean, arguably even before that, you should be. uh, but but yeah, Robert, how much is a pack of smokes in Paraguay? They're really cheap here. In fact, I don't smoke, but uh, Yankee Guayo, follow him on Instagram. He just posted about that the other day. That you can get like a gigantic, huge carton of smokes, like for like $6 or something. They're just incredibly cheap here. Again, I don't smoke. I don't advocate for smoking. I'll have my whiskey every once in a while, as Aaron knows. But and beer. But no, I'm not a smoker though. I can't be a smoker, dude. I'm a singer, so fuck that, dude. It's the one thing that saves me with these women, right? ¿Verdad? Que cantarme es algo, right? Hell no. Hell no, bro. I'll be a fool. I'll be a fool with it. Yeah, she gonna hate me. I'm just playing. But yeah. I don't know, Aaron. What do you have to say though? What do you think? I know you're not abroad yet, but you're in the process of being abroad, or whenever you have to hop on here.
Sorry. Yeah. My apologies. It's kind of Wait, hold on. Let me mute for a bit for like 30 seconds, and then I'll come
All
back
right.
on.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, but yeah.
Let me see.
Okay. No, you're good.
The title, as you had mentioned, or as you had it listed, is it like starting over again?
Yeah.
Um, I would say, you know, I think it is. It really is essentially like sort of a revival. I
Yeah.
think for a lot of people, right? Because you know, like obviously being in a different or not different, but even if it's moving, I mean, that comes with it. It's almost starting like clean slate when you're going somewhere different, right? Um, I would even say it's kind of like the same thing with maybe a career change, right? Um, you know, right now at the moment, um, in the coming weeks or months, or I'd say in the next month, I have my orientation date um, with the military. So, uh, I'm going to be pretty much working merchant marine, and that's going to be a huge shift um, physically, you know, uh, emotionally. But I have goals with that as far as changing careers, getting into a career that it's going to allow me to have the flexibility to be abroad, part time of the year. Um, and I would even say it's similar to that, like uh, kind of not similar, but almost has the similar qualities of you know when you move abroad, or at least when you move abroad, whether that's not permanently or if it's like for a year or six, you know. Um, but I think it's a reset. I think life is what you make of it in terms of how you want to reset. Um, and I feel like I've come to terms with that on my end. I know Ryan, in many ways, he has done that for himself of coming to terms with wanting to basically have a better future, economically and socially, more than anything, you know, for the long run. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know what what you would have response for that, Ryan.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And if you guys don't know, like what Aaron's talking about is merchant marine stuff. Like basically contracted, going to be working on merchant ships for months at a time, all the way up to what 6 or 9 months are the longest contracts, right?
Yeah, I think well because I'm just starting out and I'm entry level, and I essentially have no experience or no sea time. Um, you know, the, the specifically the the branch or the company that I'm going with, they're starting to implement a 4 month on, 2 month off kind of rotation, but that's going to be a while before they have enough bodies, enough manpower to actually implement that. But it could, yeah, I'm expecting. I'm pretty much set on my mind and expecting that in 2026 I'm going to be gone. So I will be selling for sure overseas, especially if it's with the military.
Yeah.
And it could be deployments could go on average 6 months, 8 months. I've even heard of guys going a full year, uh, you know, out at sea with some port calls that they get to do, like if that's in the Philippines, if that's like in Sweden, maybe Thailand, maybe the Pacific Islands, Guam. So and I've mentioned it to Ryan, and I maybe I've stated before, but like the military was always something that I kind of wanted to do, and I feel like the merchant marine is kind of a perfect fit because you know it almost in a sense is like that where you're serving and you're deploying, but there's more flexibility in terms of what you do on your off time, you know, and because the military is more constructive in the sense that like you're only limited to where you can go and what you can do. Whereas in the merchant marine, I mean, you work whether you work private company, military contract, union. You can even work if you want as little as like 4 months out of the year, and you still have benefits and you know and you can live. You can essentially live anywhere you want um, as being a merchant marine.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, that's a great breakdown, and it's just a good option for some of you guys, to think like a little bit outside the box if you're willing to sacrifice some time to do some of these long contract jobs or I personally couldn't, man. I could not handle being on the ship personally.
yeah,
So some of you guys that could, that's a great thing. But Eileen says, I had your videos and errands on repeat whenever I felt distracted or limiting thoughts on taking action. Yeah, man, that's cool, man. Appreciate you saying
yeah,
that. Want to thank Aaron too for his videos on his page collabs with you. Just having them play in the in the background kept me locked in for
yeah,
sure. Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, Eileen, um, for sure. And Robert says, was he going to get a job on the cruise ship in Florida if I need to keep working as a mechanic or welder? Okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah,
Don't want to
yeah.
spend another winter in Wisconsin. Yeah, you guys don't know that when I say that we can't handle another winter, bro. Sometimes you literally can't like mentally or emotionally handle another fucking winter. You know what I mean? Because it drains the energy out of you, especially if you're struggling with money for a little bit, and maybe you don't have a girlfriend, and like you and your homies aren't going out as much because you're a little bit older. Like Wisconsin winters are incredibly fucking depressing. So I completely understand what Robert means. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, man. There 1 second.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I'm dying over here, but no, I was kind of nerding out too, though, before you came on. And if you think about a lot of men in history too, right? Who are travelers, whether they've traveled for adventure or for trade or for I'm thinking like Marco Polo, or on military campaigns, think of Marcus Aurelius or whatever,
Yeah,
uh, military guys or guys who are on missions, right? Historically, like a lot of those guys are the ones who, or navigators throughout the world too,
yeah,
who and for better or worse, whether they were good men or not, come back with some of the best insights, and they're some of the most memorable people, historically as well.
yeah,
Uh, so you kind of put yourself in that category in the 2025 version. When you start doing something new with your life that's more meaningful and purposeful, and it's cool. Like
yeah,
I'm not saying I'm comparing myself to Marcus Aurelius or none of that shit, but or Marco Polo. But it's cool to think about though,
yeah,
instead of somebody who just always just stayed,
yeah,
who hasn't traveled more than 5 minutes away from where they grew up, uh, and then ironically too, like if I were to go back to the States, which actually I might for a little bit, I got a lot of people who want to see me, man. A lot of people, a lot of girls, to be honest too. Um, and I noticed that even when I just like post something, right? Like, damn, I haven't heard from you in years. Like now you're all like up and like following me and stuff. Uh, because you become interesting, you know.
Yeah.
Um, permanent move abroad should be the ultimate goal and purpose. But if you do go back and visit, you're kind of looked up to be honest. Like, and again, I haven't been back yet, but you've done something that's so little of such a small percentage of the world has,
Yeah.
uh, that you know people are gonna want to know about it.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, and it's just crazy to think about, man. It's crazy to think about. So I don't know. What do you have to say to that, Aaron?
I mean, to pick up, to kind of add to that with what Ryan says, I feel that now in 2025, right, this modern age that we're going through, um, I feel like with men right now, and I can say firsthand, right, people, family, or people in my circle and whatnot, I've seen what society or what it's done to men as far as just kind of going the standard route, right? Whether that's marriage in the West or your average job in the West. Um, you know, I think a lot of times men they lose their identity, um, and sometimes they don't even know it or they don't even realize it. And I think you know, like Ryan says, and I would advocate also for myself is that I think a few of us, right, choose to wake up and to seek other opportunities and other options, um, not just for money. And I would argue not even just for the cost of living, even though that's a huge factor. But I think just a change in lifestyle is what really does it in terms of your the kind of relationships you build, the kind of culture you surround yourself with, the kind of values that people are brought up to. That right now, to be honest, in the West, that seems to be a dying breed. I mean, it seems like you're gonna find it realistically. You're gonna find it in you know in Middle America, in the rural parts, you know, in the small towns. But even then, those kind of values are kind of they're still there, but it's just not the same. And I really feel that after the trip I had, this earlier this year, which I do not regret one single bit about it, even though I, and I will say this on this live, even though I left my job, right, my full time job, and I took that risk to work part time and to, you know, take time out of my own, basically my own schedule, and seek out and go to Paraguay and see Ryan, you know, just see the life of what it is to be in Paraguay and everything with that. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it. If you guys, whoever's watching it now or watches it later, Paraguay's been on your radar, and if that's or and that could be in any place too, but in this case in Paraguay, if that's been your place that you want to visit and go to, I mean, you're go for it. Um, I have such optimism despite of the struggles I've had this year, or not the struggles, but the challenges I've been dealt with, personal challenges, as well as the challenge of me, switching careers into the merchant marine. That once I set on my first deployment, I'm looking forward to going back to Paraguay. Like no, like hands down, And I think that this time that I do come around is will be the time that I start getting more intentional as far as uh, going back, um, you know, following back with Ryan, Simon, maybe a few new people, um, and just a lot of exciting things that I'm looking forward to. As far as just getting back, because Paraguay is a special place, and you know anybody that you know, I guess how do I say anybody that can anybody with other intentions, ill intentions. I mean, that's not you know that experience won't be the same for them. But if you're somebody that's really looking for you know wanting to reset or wanting to like just change your life, I mean, moving abroad is one, changing careers is one, taking a risk on a YouTube channel like what Ryan has done. I mean, you know, I think I heard in one of your videos, Ryan, was that you are basically essentially the 1% in that category, and so um, you know, yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say for now. But um, I'm just I'm ecstatic. I'm excited to go back. Hopefully in the next year or so. Um, once I get things in order and once I go back and then get to see Ryan and everything else. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate that, man. But something that well, people who have traveled other places like yourself too, people profoundly miss Paraguay, even if you are just here for a couple of weeks, right? And like you don't get that sense everywhere you go in the world, you know. The only other places I've felt like that have been when I visited native reservations and Mexico myself. Um, and so like, but Paraguay, when I started coming here alone, like Paraguay really, because the people want you to come back. Like you're like, once you really start making connections and roots here, and you're really gonna want to stay in contact with people and then see people the moment you get back, and and have a good time and set up a life here. It's not one of those brush off places like, yeah, it was cool for the beach and all that, but I could see myself maybe never going back. It's like, no, most people want to come back here. And it's not for the beaches, it's not for our glamorous, non-existent amusement parks that don't exist yet, but it's there's something special here, and it kind of sucks as a YouTuber because these are things that you can't measure. These are things that you can't quantify, but uh, but it's true. And like every and it's really crazy because it doesn't really matter from where you're coming from in the world. American, Canadian, Europeans, like Australian, wherever. Everybody has some version of the same story here, right? Um, so I don't know. It's a special place, and I don't think that people will really understand that until they get here. But there's something that always pulls you back here, you know. So yeah,
de- definitely, definitely, Ryan. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off real quick, Ryan, because I gotta stop by my girlfriend's house and I got some stuff from work that I gotta get some help with. But yeah, I mean, just one thing I guess I can just leave for you and for the viewers is, I mean, find inspiration, be that inspiration. Don't give up. Don't give up. Always have the kind of vision that you have as far as life. If it's abroad, go for it. It's gonna take time. For me, I know it's gonna take time, but I know it's gonna happen,
yeah,
and I'm just looking forward to that. So
yeah,
yeah,
hell yeah.
yeah.
Just one last thing I'll
Oh,
say while Aaron's on is like, yeah, I saw you had 65 subscribers. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah,
I'm very close to getting to my orientation date. So it's just it's been a whole it's been a journey, man. It really has. It's been months. Just being on top of it with this whole hiring process. But as soon as I do get an official orientation date, like when I do fly out to Virginia and do all that, I do want to sit down and kind of share some words, and um, just give an update with everyone and stuff. But I'm not giving up on that channel. I'm gonna make sure to come back with it, and I do still gotta get new equipment, and it's right around the corner, right around the corner. Just um, I'll just let you know when it does come out. So
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, do that for your channel. Then we'll get you back on my channel for a formal interview. I'll get Zoom back and all that. And then
yeah,
yeah, we'll go from there. Anybody watching this now, make sure you let's get to Aaron to 100 subscribers. So go to the Hispanic expat. Let's get Aaron to
yeah,
100 subscribers, and Simon as well. Simon in Paraguay.
Simon.
I'm taking the you kind of almost like my side project too, because I told both these guys, you guys need to do some YouTube, and
Yeah,
I'm glad both of you started, because it is cool to see it grow. And yeah,
yeah,
my big thing why I didn't have traditional work was growing my channel, which I still
yeah,
am, but it's
yeah,
important, and you guys can really branch out after that. So anybody else watching here too, I definitely urge you guys to start. And if you do a video, sit on it for a few months, you'll be
yeah,
surprised. And
yeah,
now it goes on all kinds of other channels too. So he's always being interviewed and that kind of stuff too. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And
So
my most viewed one hit 1,000, and I did that one like a year ago. That was like
yeah,
the first video I ever did. So I know I got potential. I gotta like I said, once I know that they say the best time to start is now, and
yeah,
I shouldn't make excuses. But yeah, I know once I get things rolling this by the end of this year, I mean, um, yeah, I'll be going forward with it.
yeah, yeah. And I can definitely help you guys get launched off with the interview if you guys are serious about starting the channel and all that. But yeah, yeah. But all right, bro. Yeah, we'll get up soon here, and we'll catch up. And anybody else who watches this back, a lot of people actually are watching quite a few of my lives back. Uh, let's get Aaron to 100 subscribers on the Hispanic expat. So let's do that and get Simon up to Simon in Paraguay up to 100 as well. So yeah, let's do that, you guys. Let's help each other out here. Um, and yeah, and let's get myself to 2,000 as well. Yeah. But all right, bro. Yeah, I'll catch you later, bro. I think you're frozen. All right. Anyways, Aaron's off here. Um, yeah, vulcanized parts says moving abroad, not starting over, just to change the scenery or theater change of stage. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for some guys, it's not as important to have a major change in life. This is just a continuation for sure. But for me, I needed a big change, man. I needed a gigantic change in like every single way possible. Uh, and again, I knew a lot about Paraguay too before I came here, but still, I just needed to be here, and start a life. So yeah, every guy's different with this thought process, ideology. Well, if you think it's a fresh start or if it's a continuation of what you're already doing, it's completely fine. At the end of the day, we're all doing the same stuff, whatever you want to call it, however you want to internalize it, is to each his own. Yeah, Robert says, I want to spend some time in Medellin, but your video about the killer girl scared me. Yeah, Medellin is a pretty scary place for a guy. Even if you're not even involved in any of the crazy stuff, you could still find yourself getting scopolamine. Even if you're not even looking to even date, you could just literally be out for a walk and somebody could blow something in your face. Next thing you know, you're getting led to some ATM somewhere. You know, Scary stuff. I again, if you can avoid that stuff and go to Medellin and have a wonderful experience, that's awesome. I would eventually, once stuff hopefully dies down, I would love to go to some of these places in Colombia myself and take my channel throughout Latin America and worldwide. Um, Once I keep growing my channel here, that will happen. It's one of my biggest goals for this, right? So, Robert, did I get a job in Paraguay? I got online work. um, and obviously I'm trying to grow this channel, and I make a little bit from this channel here. So that's where I'm at with that kind of stuff. And yeah, besides that, just living life. uh, Imperfect guy, living an imperfect life, but at least living a better life here in Paraguay. You Again, if you guys saw my video, the house that I'm in is brand new and beautiful, and this place is under, well, I guess what the dollar's worth now, about 375 a month or so. So, you guys can start doing the math and for some of this stuff. Go back and watch my channel for some apartments and duplexes and houses and this place to kind of put price points on some of this stuff for yourself. So you can plan it out. You guys can go back to my budget video where I lay out my budget here. Um, and yeah, it's much more doable than you guys think. And I know some of you guys are already on the path for sure, but I think that there's a few of you who have a lot of doubt still, and some people who are kind of thinking in the wrong ways. If I'm gonna be completely honest, some guys are just only thinking about girls when they come here, and I understand that. I understand the allure, and again, it's been 14 months for me here, so I've gotten that out of my system, right? But some guys immediately start thinking about girls and all that. I'm like, your biggest goal should be to try to live here long term. Then once you live here long term, the girls will come, and then you won't even have to use dating apps anymore. I guarantee you. As long as you're talking to locals, as long as you're speaking the language, like you won't even need to worry about that. And yeah, it's a it's a cool thing, man. And again, if you really do this move, you're one of the few. You're one of the few, um, who is gonna do something new in life. You're gonna do something that people are gonna watch your videos back if you do any kind of YouTube or vlog or documentation of any of this, or even just Instagram. People are gonna be inspired, and people are gonna want to. People are gonna want to. Uh, look at a better path forward, and hopefully seek your guidance too. Anyways, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say. I've been on here for over an hour, so uh, much love you guys who've been on here. Hopefully you guys caught Aaron coming on here, the Hispanic expat. Um, yeah, Latin America is a different world. People are nice and sincere. Yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of Latin American gets a bad rep sometimes by Hollywood and all that. But really, truly though, like we're a very communal people. We're really humble people. I say we because I have family here. I've known this now, like on a deep level. Uh, and it's a it's one of the best places in the world to be and to try to get to. So it's pretty much all I can say. I'm gonna chill out, to watch this movie or whatever we're watching, and then go to bed, man, and grind with his channel, and then keep doing that kind of stuff, man. Last piece of advice, guys. I know I say this all the time. I know you guys don't want to hear this, but start your YouTube channels. YouTube is still in its infancy. Think of YouTube as hundreds of years. It's not going to be like a Facebook. This really is tied in with Google. YouTube is the number one search engine when it comes to videos. Nothing even comes close, right? When it's a special thing, and this is starting to come up with me too. When you type in certain like houses in Paraguay, adoption in Paraguay, some of those are going to be my first videos for decades to come. You know what I mean? So YouTube is a special thing. It's the internet is still relatively in its infancy. YouTube is still relatively in its infancy. You guys can really start, and it's a slow process, but you guys can really actually start making some residual moves. Like that'll bless you ahead. Every single day, I get a couple hundred views on my videos, right? Past videos. Okay. So over time, yes, it is pennies in the beginning, but I really do think for those who really want to set yourself free, uh, and start to become your own boss, yes, again, YouTube is controlled by Google, but still, to become your own boss, I still think that this is the path. I still think this is the way. I still think you guys can be incredibly interesting and share your thought processes with people, inspire people, help your fellow brothers and sisters, especially guys to guys, who are struggling in the states, who are struggling in their Western countries. Like it's a really special thing. You know what I mean? When I get hit up on Instagram, when I get hit up from families, when I get hit up by couples from all around the world now, and they tell me, "Hey Ryan, I love your videos. Hey Ryan, you inspired me and my husband to look into Paraguay. We were looking at this country or that country, but now because of your videos, we're actually looking into Paraguay now." So you could be part of this community that is not only going to set you free from hopefully doing a 9 to 5 kind of thing, but um, also, uh, you know, hopefully inspiring some people behind you, so they can look at these videos years from now, and then you might just help some kid or some young man or some young woman or some young family or couple that's lost in their thought process and show them the way. Elon Musk, filthy jock, $2, jock strap, $2, $2. Great videos. Paraguay, Paraguay rocks. Viva la carne. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. I think that's hilarious. Okay. We'll end it with that, you guys. Much love. I'm going to start going live again more. I'm more settled in now. Hopefully I get better. Uh, Anyways, that was my last little rant here. But I love you guys, man. You guys are awesome, man. You guys are, some of you guys I talked to quite a bit too. But yeah, stay inspired, stay up, and then keep hitting me up for all the good stuff, consultations, or just send me a message or whatever through Instagram to introduce yourself. And yeah, we'll go from there. Peace out, you guys. Much love. Ryan Aranda, my best life Paraguay. Y'all know what it is. And stay tuned for next videos. Peace, you guys.